Nah, man, you already know what time it is, man. Like, look, I just wanted to get into something real quick. I've been seeing this on social media, and you know, always people they like to send me this stuff because they want to see what I'm gonna say. A lot of times, I think they assume I'm afraid to speak on it, or you know, feeling as if I'm gonna get caught up, and they want to see the ramification behind it. But you know me, like since the gate, anybody that has been following me for the longest time know that I shoot it from the hip, and I don't really care who don't like it. It's always been like that, and that's why I'm me, Zod. You know what I mean? The originator of all this. And that's not shot to anybody, but it just, I started this shit. You know what I'm saying? When everybody else was in fear of speaking on certain things, they just didn't know how to say things. You know what I mean? But me personally, I never cared. You know what I mean? I'm going to say what I want to say at the end of the day within reason. I know what to say and what not to say. But that's besides the point. Now, what I want to get into is this whole... actually, I want to talk about a few things. It's the whole, you know, blacks and 50-50 yards. And I'm just going to say this because... one of the homies had asked me because he know that I was gonna before was gonna do something with that dude Jab 5. You know what I mean? And he was busted, so I didn't really want to shoot nothing and not know if I was actually gonna get the feature. I just think he's hard. You know what I mean? I thought his lyrics was hard, and then you know the simple fact of when all that stuff was going down, dude stepped up to handle his business. So of course, you know when you dealing with stand up individuals, you know you're gonna try to collab with them, which is, to be honest, anybody that know me know I don't really do collabs like that unless there's something about you that's solid. You can't have no smut on you, no nothing. But that's besides the point. So the whole thing with the 50-50 yards and blacks, you know, that's something new, dog. That's something new, so I don't really pay too much attention to it, you know what I mean? Because when certain rules were set before and people were like, well, we don't go by the same standards you do as far as like where they program, I always left it at that and say nothing else. Like I did a whole video when I was before, when anybody that can go back on my videos and know me and that dude X-Rated kept going back and forth, and I would just point out the fact that he was on the S and Y yard and got ran off a regular yard. Now, I guess that's where the conundrum is, because you know there's situations.
Hey, what's happening, man? It's your host, Most the Great Day Late Dollar Short News, live and direct. We'll be right for respect, man. Smash the like, the share, the subscribe. You know what to do. Hit the notification bell so you be tuned in to the latest and the greatest. Yes, we are back on this 50-50, man. It's probably going to be my last time addressing the situation. The gentleman that you heard at the beginning of the video, his name is Neil Dazad. He's a black Southerner, which is he's from a Latino gang. And I want to say the San Gabriel Valley, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Sunland. Don't want to butcher the name of his hood, but if you'd like to hear about him in totality, go over and subscribe to Neil Dazad, man. I'll leave the link in the description, and so you can go over and check the video out. But he said the right thing, man. He's not going to get involved in black politics, and what we do is what we do, and that is a fact. What we do is what we do. You know, it's different strokes for different folks. But I will say this: every car has its own narrative that they push and they spin. But as far as on the 4 yard and blacks, man, I spoke to one of my homeboys, and I will be interviewing him, man. You know what I'm saying? Soon here in the future, he's on a level 4 yard. He's actually on the same yard as Baby B Braze. And he said it's a zero tolerance for people who are black and they come to the yard that have been on a 50-50 SNY. It's zero tolerance, man. They getting crashed out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what type of narrative he was trying to spin. Also, he spoke on X-Rated a long time ago. I'm not going to get into that. That's him and whatever him and X-Rated got going on, they got going on. I left a comment on one of his videos about X-Rated, and I left it at what it was. But he went on to, and like I said, you can go over and check his video out if you care to do so, to talk about the Northern Car, and he has a strong vitriol and hatred towards Norteños, yeah, for whatever it's worth. You know what I'm saying? That's on him and them. I believe, in my humble opinion, those things shouldn't be talked about on the internet. You know, if you're gonna get cracking, you're gonna get cracking. Where you live at, the possibility of you running into a Northerner, man, is slim to none, man. You know, it's slim to none, man. If you want to get cracking, man, you got to come up this way. You know what I'm talking about? You got to come to the Central Valley or, go up north, Atwater, or, Fred, wherever you're going to go find them, Oakland, San Francisco, because there ain't none in LA. But anywho, as far as the blacks being on 50-50 yards, man, I did several videos about this, a laundry list of videos about blacks and as far as it relates to the 50-50 yard, man. And my thing is this, the only yard I want to see is my backyard. And I got to go clean that motherfucker today, man, because it's growing like a jungle back there. Stay out of jail, y'all, and you won't have to deal with these politics, man. You will not have to deal with worrying about what yard you have to go to. If you have a minimal amount of points, and a point system in the California judicial system is based on severity of the crime and how many points you have. Say, for instance, they'll give you points on not being married. They'll give you points on not graduating high school. And there's several other criteria that you have to meet that they may judge you and give you points on. The higher the points you got, the higher the level of prison you go to. And if you're not going to a level 3 or 4 yard, most of the, minimal level prisons are 50-50 yards. Since the end of hostility, California, the California judicial system made it to where we're not going to hide people anymore. We're going to integrate all of these people onto the yard. So we're going to put 50% of the people who are chomos and PDF files on the yard with regular individuals. And that's just what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So say you got a little bullshit heat case or whatever or whatnot, BS heat case, and it requires you to do 16 months with half or 2 or 3 years, then you're going to go to a minimal level security. Your people, whatever side you want, are going to give you what they call a curfew. What a curfew is you have so many days to violently assault somebody and get moved to a higher level prison. Now, say, for instance, you get sent to a fire camp. If you go to a fire camp, which is we only have one out here now, it's Jamestown, then you get all the amenities, man. You eat better. You got an opportunity to make some money when you get home and possibly, be a firefighter. That's real talk. They even had a show about it on Netflix. You go to an 18-month program after you get out of prison, and you got action at, making a significant income. Now, you got to ask yourself this question. Would you crash out and do something violent to somebody, possibly get more time just to not walk, do your time and come home? A lot of people not going to do that, man. And I was hollering at my homeboy, man. Well, I wasn't hollering at my homeboy, my brother would. And this is what my brother told me that the homie said. He said that the homie said he had to crash somebody that was on, that came in from a 50-50 yard, and he felt bad about it because the dude was a square. He wasn't no gangbanger. He wasn't on that type of time, right? So my brother asked him, hey, man, what if somebody, just got a minor heat case and they was on that yard and then they points got up and they had to come up there? He said, man, we got to do what we got to do. And he said he himself would actually go to, he would do his time on a 50-50 yard if he had to, if he would have had the choice. This dude got 81 years to life. But he said if he had action, he would have did that because he knows he's not coming back to jail. So the moral of the story is, y'all, stay your ass out of jail. This is your host, Most the Great, Day Late Don Short Dudes, live and direct, where we ride for respect. We out.